Hi everybody, it's Randy Canara with Souder Station Farm. So I'm going to give you guys an update. So many of you know that we've been making kielbases and smoked cheeses and meats and working on building our own commercial kitchen. We had some plans actually to modify the kitchen in our house. We got a nice 3-bay sink with 2 countertops and a hand wash station all built into it. It's like 18 feet long, came with the house, super nice. But to try to modify the house, being a log cabin, there's so much wood that we've been making a lot of compromises on our own living space. So we decided to scratch that. And then we had an idea to possibly bring in an old 12-foot by 28-foot long portable shed, an old workshop from our old farm, that we could then use to set up on a gravel pad off to the side over here and build a kitchen out of that and retrofit it. But it was only on 4x4 pressure treated posts, and we have to go about 400 feet to run our water lines and our sewer lines and our electrical lines, and that extra cost just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So here is the plan, and mostly I'm filming this because the plan is to completely modify this barn, right? Not the whole thing. I know there's a lot of you folks out there, Lonnie and everyone else, it's probably gonna have a hard day when we rip this thing down, but it's coming down. That front carrier beam that goes across a big opening is completely rotted out. Now, honestly, the whole front side of that building is pretty much just kind of suspended there. A lot of the angles coming off of that, the front little porch there, what's keeping that wall from shifting down, and the not fully rotted OSB still kind of keeping a lot of strength up there and keeping that in place. So we need to tear it down anyway. We're going to try to preserve the sign. We want to take that sign down and save it, clean it up, repaint it, and find some way to reincorporate it into the building. What's going to end up happening is this wall's coming down. I don't know when, pretty soon. And it's going to be rebuilt like a regular peaked roof, and then we'll probably have like a metal bracket of some sort that has that facade, that has that old west facade. I think you can kind of see it in the picture. If you haven't seen it before, there's pictures of it everywhere. So the plan is actually drop that down, and so each one of these bays is 12 feet. The center section is 10 feet, so it's 32 feet wide. So we're going to take let me see if I can show you on this side here. That bay over here on the left, well, my left, should be your left on the screen also, or maybe you're right on the screen, I don't know. Either way, this bay over here is going to be 12 feet wide and run 32 feet back. And our plan is to actually build a little 8-foot addition off to the side of it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not. It's hard to see because there's a bit of a glare. But there's a stake over there, almost where that rooster is. Just a little past it, right where that white, little white pine is, if you're looking straight on. Actually, I'll just move this camera over there to show you. So ideally, we can just come off this edge here, 8 feet, and we can put in a little pad and build a small addition where we won't have to cut any of those trees. I probably won't do a slab. More than likely what I'm going to do is just have a pressure treated foundation, probably 2x6s, 2x8s. I'm not even sure yet. I have a lot of 2x6s, so I'll probably use those. But what's going to do is allow us to have an opening that's going to be, what are we looking at, 12, 8, 20 feet by 32 feet, and have a whole shop that we can segregate from the rest of the barn and have our whole kitchen set up right inside there. It'd be nice because we can actually run all our water lines right off this corner of the barn down here, run them all the way underground to the house, tie into the house's water and electricity, in the sewer if we need to. Now, I'm not sure quite yet if we're going to have what kind of plumbing or sewer system we're going to have. The state has been working with us to get this built. I don't want to say that they're not helpful. But they really won't give you a cut and dry answer on things. You know, they'd be held liable if I said, what should I use for a floor covering, and for whatever reason it turned out bad, they'd be held liable. I don't know. So mostly when I ask them for guidance, they say, check the food code. Well, thank goodness we were able to waste a lot of trees and ink on this 168 pages of the code, which I am now nightly chipping away at to find out what I can do, and it says some issues about having a toilet. I don't know if we have to have it or not because we have the house. I'll check with the state to find out where we're going. But point being, we may be able to just get away with having a wood foundation for our addition, run our water lines right off the house, and our electric lines are off the house. And I'm hoping that we can just get away with a gray water system for our sink disposal. And if that's the case, we can just go right off the back. It'll be pretty easy. Ideally, we can bootstrap this whole operation because I have no money to build this. So I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off just yet. But we're just going to start. We've got it pretty much roughed out what we want to do. Kind of figure it out as we go. If we don't have to have any major plumbing or any major foundation work, a lot of the materials I've already got lying around, so I can build most of it pretty cheap. And I have half the equipment already. The barn, we have to clean that all out. We've had chickens in the pen over here, so we really got to get all the manure out of there on both sides, clean the whole thing up, disinfect the whole thing. We'll probably recoat. I don't know if we're going to re-pour the slab like a thin layer, or if we can just epoxy it, sanitize it, clean it up, power wash it, seal it with like one of those garage full epoxy deals, maybe. I'm not really sure yet. Kind of figure that out as we go. But make just a building within a building, so we can have a separate kitchen on one side. And really, our animals are outside most of the time anyway. Like only in the winter they come once in a while when we're sorting them. Mostly just a place for storage and tools. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Our goal is to have this done by Harvest Fest. Now, Harvest Fest is just a big festival that they do in Bangor in the fall. November 14th or 11th or mid-November, and it's just local farms and artisans and mostly food. Just a big festival, like kind of like a home and garden show type deal. So we want to have our kitchen set up in time for that, so we can take all our kielbasa's and smoked salamis and smoked cheeses and all our delicious stuff that we're making out of pigs to this show. So it pretty much gives, let me see, 68 days until then. No, it's actually more than that. It's quite more. It's 60 days till October 1st. We're in July 26th. We got August, September, October. So it's 90 days, somewhat. The state has said that if we get a hold of them with everything, they have 30 days to come out and approve it. Probably more like 30 days to come out and tell us what we need to change, which is going to be costly. Ideally, they'll continue to work with us, and we don't have to, and we can make decisions before we actually purchase things, so we're not buying ridiculously expensive stuff. But we'll see what happens. My goal is to have this done by the 1st of October. That'll give a whole month for the inspectors to show up, yay or nay everything. If things are good, great, we'll just start production. If not, hopefully it gives us a month buffer to fix things and get things in operation. But having said that, that's October, so we've got pretty much August and September, so there's 60 days. August and September, 60 days. Yeah, there we go. I did this like a couple days ago, so they give me 68 days to work on this. Except that 2 days a week we have a farmer's market, so we're not getting a whole lot of work done then. At least 1 day a week, oftentimes 2 days a week, I'm actually out catching wildlife. So maybe you know we do wildlife control on the side, or the main wildlife management. So there's traps to check, there's people to go talk to, there's bats to get out of houses. So that's going to eat up time. I've actually got to take a day off a week to actually make kielbasa and salami, let alone the other regular chores and projects. It'd be nice to take a day off each week, if possible, maybe to go do some fishing, hang out with my son for a little while. I try to take a little bit of time off each night, but it's not always as much quality as we want. So roughly, it looks like I've got about 20 days to get this together, which isn't a lot of time. It's 20 days over the next 2 months. So most likely it's going to be, taking a full day and just getting a whole list of projects done. I got, luckily, a whole list of projects. I figured, all right, if I can set one project down for each day, do one project a day, I need 20 days, and I'm up to like 36 some odd tasks that need to get accomplished. So if anyone's looking to volunteer, we've had a lot of folks have been asking us about volunteering and helping us on the farm. We've got some projects coming up, definitely. A lot of it's going to be grunt work. We just got wood to move, things to move around here. We got a bunch of trash in here. This whole barn needs to get cleaned up, just organized. They'll probably be painting. I don't know if we're going to do drywall, if we get that plastic board on the inside yet. I don't know. I like the idea of having them come through and insulate with spray foam, just quick and easy. But there's a trade-off with the cost of that, and like I said, I have no idea how we're going to fund this. It's part of that other, going doing the wildlife work, definitely in a lot of ways to subsidize the farm, and farmers markets help. But farming is so capital intensive, and there's so much overhead, that a lot of the profit and money that we make off of our sales from the farm, a good chunk of that gets rolled right over into the next inventory, right? So the wildlife work we definitely need to continue with because it helps help finance a lot of this operation, but then it's going to be a reduction in time. The actual layout for this shop, we have no idea yet. I've been playing around with that. I've got a bunch of designs, but I just rejected the idea of trying to utilize the house, the cabin, as a way to have our shop set up. Since we bought this almost a year ago, we've been trying to plan on how to do that and modify the kitchen and modify the house, but it's so many compromises, it's just really not going to work out that well, so we decided, let's just build from scratch. And with this setup, hopefully we can get moved in, and as we expand, then eventually we can look at doing a standalone facility with a pad and bathroom and the whole USDA certification. But until we get to that level, it doesn't make any sense to be going super into debt just so I can create a better product out of my own animals. So that's where we're at with that. Just want to share that with you guys, because the next couple months, if anyone's out there and wants to give us a hand, we appreciate any help you can give us. It's going to be a lot of work, whether it's your time or money or materials. If you're a plumber and you get a whole bunch of materials kicking around, or like electrician, or you're a roofer and you can come do some of these jobs super fast, or you get a bunch of materials kicking around, or somebody that's got a bunch of materials, hit us up, because we're going to be recycling everything we can find and trying to get through this without going into debt as much as possible. And that's it. So if this is going to be interesting for you guys, stay tuned and let me know, because we'll just film the whole process. We're definitely going to film the tearing the barn down, because I know a lot of folks are going to be sad to see that go. But I'm hoping that we can rebuild it in a way that does some justice and preserves the integrity of this place, and kind of the look and the feel of the pioneer days and the Western theme, and just keep it looking, keep it looking rugged and awesome. So we appreciate your input and you guys' support. That's all I got for now. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.